Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler have teamed up once again, and this time they're bringing us the bloody horror, Sinners. Is this one you're going to want to sink your teeth into? Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. So just in case you've purposely stayed away from the trailer for this, I'm also going to stay away from the main surprise the story contains. Now, this is a horror set in the 1930s, where sharecropping is a way of life for a lot of the black community. The southern town that this is set in, of course, adheres to a bigoted and segregated way of life, with active Klan members just kind of lurking about. Now, twins Smoke and Stack return home from Chicago to open up a juke joint, and over the course of one day, the brothers face an extreme evil that looks to overtake them. Michael B. Jordan takes on dual roles, playing the twin brothers nicknamed Smoke and Stack. And while they both share similarities in personality, Jordan gives them nuanced differences that work to identify each and also make them deeper on an engagement level. Smoke is more of the fierce one. He's single-minded when it comes to business and how the duo are going to run the club and make money. He's calculating, pragmatic, and cold for a lot of this, but we are treated to some vulnerability when it comes to family. And it's not that he's got a soft spot necessarily, but he does showcase a bit of compassion now and then. Stack, on the other hand, is more of a free spirit who enjoys life and having a good time. He's still focused, fierce, and cunning, but of the two, he's the more likable or friendly brother. And Jordan gives both an edge to them, though, creating characters that are seasoned, tough, and fearless. And while acting alongside yourself, it's not something new in film, this is done in a way that is almost creepy in how Jordan wordlessly complements both personas through symmetry and fluid interactions. The filming technique is flawless. Never once did I see a hiccup of a body double or wonky masking. This is especially impressive when action sequences kick into gear and the characters are amidst the fray. Now, the cinematography for this is stunning. With the South as the setting, we're shown seemingly endless cotton fields, dotted with sharecroppers as they pick their daily quotas. And throughout the day, we watch the sun rise and then fall, casting warm and sometimes mournful tones on the characters and their scenes. But the impressive visuals, they aren't relegated to exterior landscape shots. Once night falls and the setting moves into the juke joint, we get visuals that are energetic, sometimes claustrophobic, and full of passion and movement. There are beautiful warm tones that envelop the interior of the building, creating intimacy despite the massive crowd. And most of the story revolves around music, with part of the central lore focusing on how certain people are gifted with this musical ability that allows them to pierce the veil between past, present, and future, transcending time to harness power that ties generations together. Now, this is visualized in a spectacularly creative way. I know it might break some people out of the illusion of the time period when this scene comes on, but the use of music and imagery for this is powerfully moving as well as stunning just to look at. And the camera swings around the joint, showcasing dancing and partying, but doing so in a way that carries a lot of emotion with it. I mean, yeah, we watch people dance and play music, but this sequence goes way beyond the surface level visuals. Coogler takes the opportunity to show the influence, strength, and heritage that music plays in the lives of these characters, as well as ancestors before and then generations to come, transcending the story and then bringing the context to real life. And their music can be seen as evil or an abomination, despised by the bigots who don't even need a reason to hate, but villainize cultural aspects that differ from their own just because. And this was probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire film. It's hypnotic and enveloping, just capturing a seamless sequence that is packed with context and relevance. And music is a character throughout the film. I mean, not only from a cultural perspective, but also through the way that the story uses it to define characters and establish the mood of many scenes. One of the main characters, Little Sammy, who's played by newcomer Miles Caton, has a gift for the guitar, and the music he creates, it's captivating and inviting. And for his first film gig, Caton is excellent, just giving a performance that convincingly portrays a young man who is equally timid and confident, but never somebody that we dislike. And the score for the film is yet another highlight for the watching experience. We're treated to several different genres of music, from blues and gospel to Irish shanties that seem to invoke river dance. For as odd as that does sound, it all blends perfectly to engulf us in this world that Coogler has crafted. And in addition to Jordan and Caton, we also get awesome performances from Hailee Steinfeld, Delroy Lindo, Wunmi Mosaku, Jayme Lawson, Jack O'Connell, Jun Li, and Omar Benson Miller. And each of these play integral roles that add depth and dimension to the plot. Delroy Lindo and Omar Benson Miller add some unexpected dry humor and snark, and many times when it's needed to cut the tension, which then maximizes the laughs. I mean, these moments weren't often, but they landed every time. And Jack O'Connell has a small but important presence, and his character works to create menace and fear, all while attempting to come across as kind and inclusive. I mean, it's clever to use the character this way, making him purport to be an ally or a supporter, especially as he wants to welcome everybody with love and equality. But we already know that he's not what he says. He uses the facade to gain trust and then unleashes his violence. His lies are meant to prey on fears, drawing people in to then succumb to the venom that he carries in his soul. Now, I think one of the most powerful dynamics in the story is between Jordan as Smoke and Wunmi Mosaku as Annie. They share a past, and you can just feel the emotion drip between them as they stare deep into each other's being. And this isn't to say that they see eye to eye on everything. I mean, they're both equally strong, but the connection is palpable when they interact. And for the large majority of this movie, it is a tense and building drama. There's barely any action, allowing us to become fully invested in both the environment and the characters. I love that this isn't rushed, that so many of the main cast have backing and development. Even if it's not dwelt on, we have an understanding of who they are within the context of the plot. And the time spent also helps to lull us into the laid-back pace of life, even as the story rockets us towards some frenzied violence. And when the action arrives, it's harrowing, violent, and chaotic. I mean, we've been allowed to become so invested in the characters that when peril arrives, the tension is earned. And the violence that we're treated to, it isn't overly graphic, but it is gnarly, especially thanks to some amazing prosthetics and makeup. The practical effects really sell the brutality and the gore, making for some scenes that can make you wince in sympathetic pain. Now, something that I totally appreciate with this storytelling is that when the main arc has concluded, Coogler doesn't ignore other aspects of the story that he had initiated right from the start. I mean, these aren't necessarily massive arcs, but they work to bring about closure that we otherwise wouldn't receive. Many other movies would most likely just skip over this. I mean, we see it all the time in current storytelling. When the conclusion is reached, any dangling elements here and there, they're just simply forgotten. It's nice to see the attention to detail here, especially with how it caps off the emotional buildup of the story as a whole. I also loved how the story examines and focuses on the themes of family, protection, the afterlife, even threats of assimilation. Each are important elements that inform character motives and then create deep connections with them. I loved how with Jack O'Connell's character, he invites the other characters to join him, using this ploy of equality and togetherness as a lure. We're then shown the effects of what assimilation can do to strip away culture and identity, robbing people of unique qualities or talents under the guise of being the same. And while it's not poo-pooing the idea of equality, the story showcases the pitfalls of abandoning one's culture in favor of blending into the mindless masses. And family and protection are also powerful principles that the story employs to showcase the strength and resolve of our characters. There are a couple of moments that either focus on Smoke and Stack or Smoke and Annie, where the idea of protection is a vital arc and it's used to effectively exploit emotions, but not in a manipulative way, just creating heartfelt and devastating conversations that are meant to elicit an emotional response from us. And they do it perfectly. Now, you don't want to be like the audience at my screening and get up and then head right out as the screen goes black and some credits start appearing. There is an extended mid-credit scene that is just a beautiful cap to the story, once more giving us closure to an element that could have otherwise gone ignored. There's also a small post-credit scene, and while this one isn't as important to the story, it is a nice final image. So overall, I was impressed at how captivating and affecting this film would be. Ryan Coogler presents a striking story of family and devotion while wrapping it in a violent and bloody thrilling horror. Michael B. Jordan is spectacular in his dual roles, showcasing restrained emotion and power, but not without explosive potential. With stunning cinematography, an enveloping musical score, and a narrative that uses musical heritage and lore to amplify the power of the people, the film illustrates the characters' strength that surpasses time and the music that unites them. While this isn't your traditional horror or monster story, the patient world building and savage brutality deliver a final execution that will haunt you for days to come. There's sex, maybe some very brief nudity, a lot of profanity, and a bunch of gruesome violence. I give Sinners 5 out of 5 couches. Coogler knocked it out of the park with this, and he just continues his streak of awesome collaborations with Jordan. I can't wait to watch it again. So what's a thriller or a horror that you've seen lately that just blew your socks off? Let me know about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.